John Cena turning heel at Elimination Chamber is still one of the craziest moments I've seen in wrestling, one of the biggest heel turns in pro wrestling history. And now that we're past that moment, the question is, how should WWE present John Cena moving forward? Should we go back to the Dr. of Thuganomics gimmick with the Word Life theme song, or should they create something new because this is a different version of Cena? Now, before we get started, guys, please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Let's get into this. So if you ask me, although the gimmick has a ton of nostalgic attachment by a lot of wrestling fans, especially if you grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era, which I love that era. That era was so dope. But even in saying that, WWE, please do not bring back the Dr. of Thuganomics gimmick or the Word Life theme song. Please, I don't want to see or hear that on John Cena in 2025. And it's not because I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. And some people don't want to hear that, but let me explain to you what I mean by that. That gimmick and that theme song, and this is pretty obvious, was a representation of hip-hop in the early 2000s, right? Minus the jorts, okay? From the clothes that he wore, from the big jerseys to, the big t-shirts, to the backwards hats, sometimes the shoes. If you go back and Google some rappers back in the day, you would see where he got the influence from. From Dipset to so many different rappers back then, they wore the big jerseys. Fabulous. They wore the big chains with the big pendants. Like, you'll see that back then. And even the spinning titles, right? The spinning US title, the spinning WWE title in the early 2000s, spinning rims were big in hip hop, especially in the South. It got so crazy that people were putting spinning rims in their shoes, in their watches, in their belt, in their hat. Some people had it attached to their t-shirt, that they were that crazy about spinning rims. They just needed it on everything. And obviously him rapping his promos and having the Word Life theme song was obviously hip hop influence. So I don't have a problem that he did that, but this is what I'm trying to say. To see in 2025, a 47-year-old John Cena coming out in the Dr. of Thuganomics gimmick, wearing the stuff that I just described to you, it would look weird, right? I would feel like at that point in time, it would be a cry for help. He is going through a midlife crisis. Put this man on Dr. Phil, have him go talk to Ayanna Von Zant. Like, something isn't right at this stage of his life. Now, people will say, well, The Rock is wearing Versace shirts like he wore back in the day, so why wouldn't that be a problem with The Rock? But here's the thing. When it comes to Versace jackets and shirts and stuff like that, that stuff doesn't age, right? What John Cena wore back then represented youth and what people wore in the era. But obviously, hip-hop don't really dress like that anymore. But Versace, stuff like that is ageless, regardless of what age you are, if you can afford it. And as you know, I don't have any of it, so that tells you what my bank account looked like, even with income tax, okay? But it would just look so weird for that to happen. And some people may argue, well, John Cena is wearing what The Rock, described as Fruity Pebble t-shirts with the jorts right now, with the shoes and the hat. He's still wearing it to this day, but that is so synonymous to who John Cena has been for a long time that we kind of look past it. Part of me is like, okay, we're starting to get up there. We kind of got to get rid of it, but that's just who John Cena is, Some rappers that still wear that stuff to this day, part of me is like, aren't you a little too old to be wearing that? But that's so synonymous to who they are, we kind of give it a pass. And if he comes out rapping, like, guys, like, I don't want to see that now. If he wanted to come out during his retirement speech and wear that stuff and rap his retirement speech at some point, I think that would be dope. I think that would be a great moment, but I don't think that's something you would want to see for the rest of his retirement run as a heel. I don't want to see that, because it will be so cartoony that it will take you out of this serious storyline that they're trying to, tell right now. And you don't want that to happen. Leave that to the Acclaim. Leave that to Matt Caster and the rest of, don't let John Cena go back to that. So what I would love to see is for them to give him a new theme song, right? Maybe he can wear all black, and instead of a thick chain, he can wear just a Cuban link, just something simple to show that he's, he means business and he's more on the serious side. Or if they want him to wear what he wore in Fast and the Furious, just a regular t-shirt and some jeans or a jacket or whatever, to be as anti-John Cena as possible, I wouldn't mind that at all. Because he knows that a lot of fans want him to come out as the Dr. of Thuganomics. They want him to play Thug Life. So, Word Life, not Thug Life. Word Life, that's an album. But you gotta take that and do the complete opposite of what the fans want you to do. That's what heels are about. You're supposed to agitate the fans without going into a direction of go away heat, right? Which is a science in itself. We are so used to heels being likable heels that we don't know how to react when heels are actually trying to be the purest form of being a heel. So we need John Cena to be that, especially in this serious storyline. We need him to be as serious as possible, even if it means to be as anti-John Cena that we once loved as possible. I think that will work so well in this entire situation. I would love to see that. But for me, as I said, I don't want to see the Dr. Thuganomics. I don't want to see that theme song until he decides to retire, right? Until he announce his Hall of Fame, he has his Hall of Fame speech. I think that would be the perfect time to actually do that. But you know what? I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Do you think I'm wrong? Would you like to see the Dr. of Thuganomics come back? Do you hate the Dr. of Thuganomics gimmick? Or do you think they should give him a brand new gimmick and brand new theme song? I respect all opinions. Let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, regardless of how long you've been watching wrestling, because this is to entertain everyone going into WrestleMania. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to hear my opinion. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute, peace, have a great day.